Hello everyone, it is me Vegeta T23 and welcome back to my new What If. Today we're talking about what if Saiyans were good. Before I start, I'd like to mention that I created a Discord server for you to join. The link is in the description of this video, so if you'd like to join in and talk to me and the rest of my fans, it's there. I'd also like to mention that I created an Instagram so you can survey my very uninteresting life. I mainly post OSA stuff. Now back to the video. In the last part, we discussed Broly's transformation into Super Saiyan God and the battle with Beerus. After a long battle, where Broly kept improving and pushing Beerus into his omen, he gained the Destroyer's respect. Whis then asks Broly and the Saiyans to train with him. 10 months later, Frieza arrives after his 4 months of training and starts trashing the place. Bardock took him down with only one punch, then gave him a little speech before obliterating him. Saluri then joined the Saiyans on their training. With the recap out of the way, let's continue the what if. Saiyans went back to train on Beerus' world. On there, they eventually meet an unknown cat, who we find out is Champa. Beerus is awoken from their babbling, and then Champa tells Beerus he has food which will be hard to resist for him. Beerus' interest speaks, and he lets his brother show him. Beerus tries those eggs and they're nothing special, so Beerus whips out the ramen and, well, Champa proposes a tournament to see who gets the planet Earth, and they both agree. The Saiyans are so very excited, they also propose that it should be like a Tenkaichi Budokai on Earth and tells them all the rules. With that, the tournament is set. They go back to Earth to find more fighters and they find them. Raditz is the only one capable enough for it, and so he's in since they don't need anyone else on their team. Now when they have all the fighters, they are ready quite fast, but Champa is still looking for his contestants. Skipping a bit ahead, the time for the tournament is already there. 5 Saiyans then depart to Universe 6 along with their families. They arrive on an unknown planet, and Champa is already there with food in hand. They begin the tournament. First to fight is of course Kakarot and Botamo, and he wins in a similar fashion of the original, except he didn't set in his meal first, he just went for it. But on the other hand, he just prolonged the fight for a bit longer. Next up is Frost against Kakarot, and Kakarot points out that Frost looks just like Frieza, but the personality seemingly looks a whole lot different, for now at least. Kakarot and Frost begin their fights, and the second it starts, Kakarot berates Frost for not using his final form. Frost abides by that and goes full power. Kakarot can now finally use something more than the base form. He then goes head to head with Frost, and Frost is landing pretty powerful punches. Kakarot then gets dizzy all of a sudden, falls out of Super Saiyan and faints. Everyone in the bleachers are surprised that Kakarot, the one who is one of the most powerful among them, can fall just like that. Kakarot then wakes up and Frost tries to raise his hand like in the original, but Kakarot knows what he's done and whips his arm away. He looks at his arm and sees a bloody spot and then shouts out Frost has an unfair advantage. Jonko then examines Frost and finds a poison needle. Frost is then disqualified, and it's also revealed that Frost is just as Frieza, but a bit smarter. So that means Kakarot is back in the tournament. Next up is Magetta, and Kakarot takes him on pretty much the same way as Vegeta did in the original, but without the pride fit. Then Cabba's turn is up, and Cabba says he can't go Super Saiyan. So Kakarot tells Cabba exactly what to do, because he himself has told many Saiyans the same thing over and over again, and so Cabba transforms successfully. Cabba charged at Kakarot, and they both seem to get their mark. After a bit of fighting, they come to a standstill. Kakarot asked him to try doing it again, and Cabba transformed successfully. Kakarot then went Super Saiyan 3, which he's caught up while training with Whis, to show him the full extent of the Super Saiyan transformation, and knocked out Cabba, and also told him to train hard before he tapped out. With that, Kakarot has gotten his first student instead of Vegeta. Last fighter was none other than Hit, and Kakarot was so ready to fight him. Kakarot went Super Saiyan and started to attack Hit, but that didn't even faze the assassin. Kakarot then went Super Saiyan God and started to fight him again, but even with a considerable increase in strength, he stood no chance. Kakarot then went Super Saiyan Blue, and only then he grabbed an edge. Hit then did an improvement, and he managed to increase his time skip he likes to use so much, and started bullying Kakarot. After Kakarot had enough, he became desperate with Beerus and Champa lifting the tournament rules, not wanting to die and all, surpassing the Super Saiyan Blue and going into his evolution. Hit then had no chance against now overpowered Kakarot. Vegeta and pretty much the rest of the Saiyans were unimpressed with Kakarot's performance. With a simple right hook to the time skip, Kakarot knocked Hit out from the tournament. The bleachers on the Universe 7 side were raving. The Saiyans started joking how they weren't even needed here, as he won very easily. But Kakarot was more amused of his new transformation he has reached. Beerus and Champa eventually got into an argument, but before they can do damage, Zeno appeared and was slightly mad he didn't get to see the whole fight. The Saiyans have finally noticed everyone is trembling with fear, but they are as confused as to why that child is so dangerous. Zeno then asked why they didn't invite him to the fight, so he can see it. Beerus was cowering with fear and could barely speak, but then Kakarot, Vegeta, Celery, and Bardock appeared behind them and, with respect, asked him if he'd like to host another tournament, and Zeno was more than happy. He even showed compassion towards the 4 daring Saiyans. After Zeno left, they were berated by Beerus, of course. They said they knew, they just proposed it, and then turns out they succeeded. They return back home and the first thing they do is train on Beerus' planet. Back on Earth, everyone was just chilling when a time machine appeared out of nowhere. They opened up the machine and set future Vegeta on the table so he regains consciousness. Kakarot and Vegeta are informed, and so Whis then took them there. Future Vegeta regained consciousness and then hyperventilated a little, but after seeing that it's not his timeline, he calmed down. Whis, Beerus, Vegeta, Celery, Bardock, and Kakarot arrived, and future Vegeta mistook Broly for someone else and attacked him, but to no effect. Kakarot then smacked him on his head and Vegeta came to his senses and apologized. He then explained what happened to his timeline. He said an unknown rival has appeared out of nowhere apparently, breaking the peace they had, and how some of the Saiyan alliance on Earth caught a heart virus, and the only few that remained were himself, Bardock, and a Saiyan called Nappa. They tried to put resistance on this foe, but he unveiled a new form for the villain, called Super Saiyan Rose. They had no chance and had to retreat to hide and save the survivors. But even though they're trying their best, the days are running out very fast. The only survivors left are his wife and himself. Everyone else is either heavily injured or dead. Broly had a hard time taking it all in, but decided to roll with it, not believing what future Vegeta meant. Kakarot went straight to theorizing about Frieza wishing for the strongest Saiyan body for a temporary amount of time and avenging his father and Force. Whis certainly believed so, but also said how that is only possible if the hosts don't have much of a power gap, and how anything further must be wished with the Super Dragon Balls from the tournament Champa held. Considering the point in time, you all know where this is going. Broly Black appears from his rift. Whis notices a strange anomaly on the Menace's index finger, that being the time ring, and takes into consideration a possibility of them being a Supreme Kai. Beerus also notices that and feels the key of Black. He mentions it feels awfully similar for some reason, with Whis confirming. Kakarot absorbs all of this in and comes up to the conclusion that it might be some corrupt Kai if that's the case. With that, Broly and Black are going up against each other. Broly goes Super Saiyan Blue and initiates a fight. With that, we're leaving things be for now. Thank you for watching. If you think I'm a crippling alcoholic, then click dislike. But if you like the video, hit that like button. If you'd like me to cover your idea in the near future, comment down below. And as always, peace out.